cleaning on Bill's engine a little bit today, trying to figure out, what we got and what's going on. Set the coffee down. Gotta have coffee. It's absolutely vital. This transmission is a Dodge fluid drive transmission, and it's got me a little bit perplexed because here's the linkages for you, and here's your clutch here. Alright, so fluid drive has a torque converter here. Well, not really a torque converter. It looks like a torque converter, and it's filled with oil. And what that does is it creates a hydraulic link between the manual transmission and the engine. It still has a clutch. And what I've been reading online so far about this thing is that you only have to use the clutch to get started out, and then once you get them up in the third gear, you can stay there all day long and just use the brake to stop like you normally would in an automatic transmission, and then take off again and she'll shift automatically. In theory, it being a semi-automatic transmission, I think. Now here's the linkages, and here we have neutral here. It's been nice and free. When we click forward, there, that puts us in low, I think, and then that'll put us in high, right? And then this, of course, back into neutral. And then this linkage here, we put them in gear, right? This is either forward and then reverse. Is that how that goes? Is that your backup? One side is reverse, and the other way is forward. Or is this your high-low? Well, and that being forward and reverse, but really it feels like it's going into forward both ways. Moved it backwards. Requires more thought. Another thing that's kind of got me puzzled over here is we've got our fuel pump on the side of the engine. Alright, this is fuel in from the tank. That's pretty obvious, I can figure that out. And this is fuel up to the cart coming in. What are these lines on the top of the fuel pump? They come up here and stop. I have no idea what they were for. So that's something I got to figure out. And the other thing that I kind of want to figure out today is is this engine a positive ground engine, or is it a negative ground engine? And I ask that because I've seen online a couple of places where they said that it was a positive ground, and also this red positive cable is hooked to ground, and the black cable is hooked to the starter. Or maybe somebody was just lazy and that's the way they put them on. But I would really like to know for sure. And what would happen if I hooked it up negative ground? Would that starter spin backwards? Or would it spin the correct direction, or what? I do not know. So that's going to require a little bit of thought. But we can figure it out. It's a huge engine. It's just, it's just massive. Here's that radiator the guy gave me. That's everything. And look beautiful up inside that guy. I measured everything out with the tape measure, which is, you know, very strange of me to actually measure stuff before I start cutting and welding, but I did measure, and from tip of the engine to the rear of the drive shaft is 10 feet, and on the truck it's 10 inches shorter. So we'll have to cut about 10 inches out of that drive shaft, I think, but that's not really that complicated. It's fracking cold out here. What the hell am I doing? Pretty seriously cold. It's my 1958 Toyota Crown motor that I picked up dirt cheap. I got it for the transmission because it's a pretty cool transmission. The motor itself is junk, but the transmission is awesome. I don't know what the hell I'm going to use it, use it on ever, but it's a cool transmission. And it was, so cheap. I was like, and they even delivered it, so can't pass that up. If I knew what the electronics was on this thing, I'd have to throw a battery down here on my little engine stand I built, give her a twirl and see what happened. Of course, then I just end up with a flathead engine bouncing around the yard with a battery attached to it, but that would be fun. Still thinking.